Darth Vader was a bitch. A puppy dog servant to the Emperor.
Well, that means Darth Maul's a puppy dog servant too.
Yeah, but he didn't have asthma like Darth Vader. So whack. Plus, I like Jar Jar Binks. He was cool.
Jar Jar Binks was a total douchebag. Oh my god. And you are so retarded for thinking he was cool.
Well,
Everyone hated him. Everyone.
well, congratulations for being part of the hate crowd. Being a sheep. As usual.
What'd you say?
Oh, you heard me.
How about you say that again?
In my face. How about you get out of my face?
Sister, it's on.
Oh, you want a piece of me? May the Force be with you.
I'm about to send you to the dark side.
Lucy, I am your father. Hey, wake up! Wake up! Are you okay?
What happened?
Dude, you slammed into that wall and knocked yourself out like a dumbass.
That sucks.
You must have slammed into that wall with a lot of force.
Shut up.
Don't get angry. Anger leads to hatred, and hatred leads to suffering, and suffering leads to bad Star Wars movies.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Why would we lose you to the dark side?
I think I'm already there.
Yeah, right.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Uh-oh, a disturbance in the Force. I know, right?
Did you like that one better than the actual serious Jedi Duel one?
But me?
Did you? Yeah.
I
What did you think?
well, I'm a fan of ridiculous.
Okay, yeah.
I
For some reason, that one more people like that one. I mean, the Jedi Duel one was like more serious, and there was a little comedy at the end. But for some reason, that one, Sean Tarney wrote all the dialogue, and he's just into like he's
I'm
a nerd.
I'm
times
ridiculous. So they're like throwing ridiculous humor at me is I made a Star Wars Spaceballs promo for a dance event at one point years ago, a dance called when Lindy Fest and Lone Star merged
Yeah.
like a long time ago. And of course, Lone Star, thus the Spaceballs reference. But yeah, that's on YouTube somewhere. You can try to find that.
That's awesome. You should show it to your fans.
Yes, to the adoring people who are here to see you.
But for reals, guys, like that is not the reason why I got Star Wars, but It was because I read. It's because like it's from knowing people. People like it's multiple angles of people referring, but also like reminding Matt, "Hey Matt, I'm here. I'm available." And I'm also a Star Wars nerd fan, and I sent that. I don't even know if he watched it, but he thought of me. So then initially I got on as a rebel. So we did that scene. It was the very last episode where the rebels are retracting. The whole drama happens. And mind you, I haven't actually watched the entire show because this is what happens when you work in Hollywood. You work on shows and then you're busy doing other things and you don't actually watch. But it was like that drama scene, you know, when we're
Yeah.
all like, there's tons of stormtroopers. We're retracting through the cave and we're shooting. And so I was in that scene as a rebel. I tried hard to hide my face. There's a whole thing in the stunt industry that if you hide your face, you can be in the show more as a stunt person. So all the stormtroopers got to work a lot because their face is not seen. And if I had hidden my face one smidgen better, I might have been an actual actress for this next another Star Wars show later that I auditioned for. And they're like, "Well, we heard you're a Jedi and you're also a rebel in the last episode, so we just have to wait to see if your face got burned because as far as the edit, right?"
Yeah.
And so I waited 2 weeks. They were like, "We actually liked your reading." I auditioned for this role. There was a whole role, and I did a reading. They hit me back, and they're like, "We're just waiting to see if your face got burned." And then my sister found the screenshot that I sent you. It's one frame.
Yeah.
It's literally one frame. You barely can see me, but if you're looking for me, I guess you can see me. And so they're like, "We can't use you for this one, but we can use you again if you're an alien." And I was like, "My whole life's over. Ah, my whole dream."
But
you
being
know?
an
But
alien,
it's
though,
cool.
that's cool too, I guess.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is cool. I'm down. I'm down. But there was a hot ego second that my ego got hit, but then I was like, you know what? It's my fault. I should have hid my face even better. But at the same sense, the coordinator was like, "Hey, this is the last episode of Obi-Wan. Just show your faces." And man, that one scene where I'm holding a shield and shooting my fake gun, it was I was trying hard to hide, but I'm right next to the actress, and they just were like, "Oh, special on PeiPei." So the camera's like shooting me, and I'm like, "Great." So then I'm kind of like putting my hair in front of me and shooting, but you saw me anyway. That scene was really exciting. They were actually doing practical effects,
Mhm.
so they did a shot where I'm holding the shield, and they were shooting these little. I wish I did keep one pellet. There's these little like spark pellets that get shot by a special effects guy who's standing on the side, and as the stormtroopers are shooting at us, they're shooting at us too. So these things are actually hitting and they hurt if they hit you. So I was really shielding myself, but it felt exciting because I thought I was in a fight. I was in a fight with the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Like I'm shooting, you know, but my gun was kind of just like, you know, trigger, but actually blocking the pellets felt like I was blocking all the what do you call them? What do you call them? The things that the stormtroopers shoot at you.
Blasters,
What Star
blaster
Wars
bolts.
blaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, the blaster bolts were
Yeah.
actually hitting, and it felt like, and it was like all bright and sparks were going everywhere, and just you could hear it all around you. That was really a cool experience. Also, the R2D3 that was in that
Mhm.
scene. I don't know if you could see him in the show. He was so cool. I met the guy who met him. I mean, who made him. It was all remote control, and literally I'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And when I talked to him, he would talk beep, boop, doop, 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 back at me. It was cute. And like everything I said, like the guy who was remoting him close by was listening, and he would respond and he would move around and just get excited. And he was so proud of his
Mhm.
R2D3. You know, he was like, "Yeah, this is my baby." You know, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
super
because
cool. It was all
they get droid
dirty.
makers involved, and yeah.
Yes,
So
it was awesome.
the scene that PeiPei's talking about is episode
The last
5.
episode of
It's 6 episodes,
I
right?
think
Yeah.
so.
So the second to last episode, when all the rebels are, you know, being infiltrated, their base is being
Retreating.
infiltrated, and they're retreating. That whole scene. So the goal being is you see the face now. You see the face, and like just imagine a little bit more hair in the face. Not me, obviously, but PeiPei. And then you can go see if you can spot any shots for that, and it's a good,
Yeah,
it's a good
you
reason
tell
to,
me if you can
yeah.
see me.
So
My
then
sister saw me,
she
right?
could tell the Star Wars people if she's burned or not, actually burned.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they really look hard. Apparently the Star Wars universe, like fans, they really look hard. So they just don't want
oh
repeated
my gosh,
faces. I get it. It's
Star
okay.
Wars fans are the
Um,
worst.
yeah, and just the timing. So that's like the journey of my life is like I am an action actress. Ever since I was little, I wanted to be the female Jackie Chan at some point. And that's what I was pursuing. But because in Hollywood, there are 5 zillion people trying to act, right?
Mhm.
And there's only a certain number of Asian females trying to do stunts. There's a lot now, but either way, it's a numbers game. So it's like 5,000 or 50, you know? And so I just started picking up stunt doubling jobs and ND jobs where you're just a nondescript character that's doing stunts on a stunt contract. And that just kept flowing a lot faster than my actual acting career. I have done co-stars here and there. I did a guest star here and there. But that, if you look at my IMDb, my stunt resume just blew up a lot faster. So for some reason, I knew at some point I'm like, oh man, this is gonna happen. They're always like, hide your face so you can be repeated. And dang, it happened. It happened. I couldn't believe it. I was like, of all things, Star Wars. I burned my face on Star Wars, and I want to. That's all I ever wanted to be an actress on
Yeah.
Star Wars, right? To be a Jedi, or now I want to forget the Jedi. I'm gonna be a Sith. You can paint my face. Forget the Jedi now. I'm down to be a Sith, okay, or an alien or something. But yeah, so I can't be a human anymore, and it's okay. I embraced it. I was like, there's plenty of other things, many other things. And the funny thing is, the day. Can I talk about the day that I went to my costume fitting?
We're here to talk. We're here to talk your stories.
Yeah. So you can pull that photo, right? You have that photo of me standing there. My name is next to me, and I look like awkward. It's like a whiteboard that says PeiPei Alena.
Let's see if I can.
So I'll start talking about
give it a
it. You
try.
can try to find it. So what happens is I go down to do the costume fitting, and I'm so distracted because there's all this COVID testing, and I'm getting confused because you have to COVID test one day, wait 2 days, whatever, go to another testing. Yeah, fans are jerks, by the way. I'll talk about that in a second. And so then I go in to do my costume fitting, and I'm like so excited. And actually, I didn't even know I was. I think I didn't know yet I was going to be a Jedi. I wasn't sure, you know. And then I walk in, and finally, they're like, "This is your day. You're gonna be a Jedi." I'm like, "Oh my god!" And like, I'm so excited, right? They pull 3 costumes for me. I try all of them on, and I'm like, "Wow, these are amazing!" And they tell me that these costumes are pulled from the archives in San Rafael in ILM. Like they kept these costumes for 20 years, and so that was really amazing that these costumes looked such in great shape. There was nothing. They didn't smell like mothballs. There was no tears. They looked amazing, all 3 of them. So I put on all the costumes. I don't know how I got that photo that I sent you, but nobody has seen it. But I put the costume on, and I'm just stressed out. I'm looking at my phone because like they're trying to get me to submit my phone. When you get a call like, hey, can you submit your headshot? And we need a video of you. So I'm sitting here trying to submit my headshot and a roller skating video to be in Stranger Things. And I'm stressing out because I'm like, it's my dream to roller skate on a stunt job because I'm a roller skater too. And, you know, like now they're starting to recognize roller skating as a stunt. So they're like, hey, we need your headshot. And I'm cutting a reel really fast of the best roller skating. And I'm sending that to the stunt coordinator of Stranger Things while I'm here trying to do this costume fitting. So as I'm like distracted, I'm in the Jedi outfit. I walk by, they're like, stand here, hold this sign, stand here, turn around. And I turn around and I see this full length mirror and I see myself and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a Jedi. And I like teared up. And they're like, smile or don't smile. And they're like, hey, face forward, face sideways. And I'm like so emotional because it was like, holy crap, guys, I'm in the Jedi. Yes, this photo. So right here at this moment, I'm like really emotional. I'm tearing up. I kind of cried a little bit. And I was just like, it was surreal. I know this is cheesy. I'm sure if like anybody watches me, they're going to be like, oh my God, this girl. But I was nerding out because like I don't know, with the stresses of life, you know, and things happen, and you're trying to work, and you're trying so hard for 18 years, and then suddenly here's this moment, and that's when it hit me where I'm like, oh my God, I'm a Jedi. That's the costume from the backside. That's on set that day. So on top of it, they were like, no cameras, no cell phones on set. If anybody even had their cell phone out, people would be in trouble, right? And so I took those photos with me and my friend, the other guy, Hayden Lamb. That one's at the end of the day. So I'll tell you how I got those photos. But the ones that are in the changing room, we snuck and took them. I'm gonna get canceled by Star Wars now.
They don't know I exist yet. We're fine.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So I took the photo with my stormtrooper friend Hayden, who was actually the third stormtrooper that I kill in that set that you'll see. And we were just like geeking out, like, oh my God, we want to take a photo, right? And it was just, here's the best part. So I'm sitting on set, I'm waiting for my whatever. You're always waiting, you know, there's a lot of waiting and downtime. And I hear this PeiPei Yuan, and I'm like, oh, and I stand, yes, sir, and I stand up because that means they're calling you to set, and I get all nervous. But then this guy takes his mask off, and he's like, PeiPei Yuan, Northgate High Broncos, and I'm like, that's my high school, right? And I'm like, what the heck? And it's Nathan Kimball, this guy who was like a stud, like one of the hottest guys in my high school, who was like, I was so intimidated of. But like, here he is, he's the AD on OBI-WAN, like the second AD for the stunts, and we reunited after however many years, 20 years or whatever, and I hugged him, and we're just like, oh my God, because I had heard that he worked in the industry, and we just kept not running into each other for as long, 18 years or whatever. And so that was what was awesome, is like reconnecting with this guy that I was so scared of in high school. He was intimidated of me because I was ASP president, so he thought I was like this goody two shoes, whatever.
Well, yeah.
And he was that guy that, he was always getting in trouble, right? Getting whatever, what is it called, citations, you know, and getting kicked out of school. He would be caught with, he like showed up drunk at my high school, my 16th birthday, on a skateboard, and fell over, and like we kicked him out, all this stuff. Anyway, so we reconnected. And because we're like, oh my God, we're like bonding because we're childhood friends. We grew up together. He took my camera on set, and that's how I have this footage that we can show now.
Okay, wait, but before we show that, we showed you with the clone trooper, but let's.
So I was so excited.
This is the before Order 66 right here. This is the before shot.
Yeah, this is me and Hayden just like geeking out so hard, so
his
happy.
name is Hayden?
Like, oh my God, we gotta take photos. Hayden Lamb. He's actually Chinese American also.
I just love that his name is Hayden exciting. Because
I know,
the person who actually,
Hayden Lamb. He's my homie. He's actually this Chinese American stunt guy, and he actually has blue eyes. And that was the first show that I worked with him on, and it was awesome to work with him because we coordinated like the timing and stuff. That's me and Anisha Gibbs. She's an awesome stunt woman also, who was also a former she still is a professional dancer. She's amazing. She's trained so hard, and she's an amazing martial artist too. She's in a lot of
oops, that's wrong.
This is
we can
show that too.
Yeah. Well, let's actually, because we're talking about Obi-Wan, let's actually show the clip so we can show it again.
Let's show later. The famous clip that went viral.
I have to show the wide, because the one that went viral has music on it, and
just show the one that I showed you with just no music. So the one that he's about to show, it has 3 clips, and the first clip is the one that went viral on my YouTube, 2 million views, which is so funny because there's all these fans, Star Wars fans, not my fans, that are just talking shit on there.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for swearing.
No, it's
and
fine.
I don't mind.
We're at PG-13, so we're
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, it's really entertaining. I started responding at first, but then it got exhausting. But there's a lot of haters, and there's a lot of lovers too, and I would love to respond to some of those. I'm gonna do a separate vlog.
Yeah, so Star Wars fans, just for a moment, the ones on YouTube are the worst. The ones on YouTube and Twitter are the worst ones. Okay. Not all, because I mean, some of you are on here. Well, Twitter's just a volatile.
I mean, I'm on there, but I'm not on there. My stuff just uploads to there. So these 3 clips that you're about to see are 3 out of the 4 passes that we were able to, that Nate was able to record for me. And the first clip,
sorry.
scene with,
Yeah.
oh, real fast before you go. So the first clip, it's me with the 3 stormtroopers, and it's cool because we had maybe 5 to 10 minutes to choreograph it, and they let me just do whatever I wanted. And this is what's important to answer all the fans out in YouTube. They let me do whatever I wanted. Matt Emick kind of came and he's like, why don't you do a knee slide in? So that's what that knee slide is. And I love knee slides because I used to break dance. And all the rest of it is like freestyling me, just my style of kung fu mixed with dancing, and also just a mix of Japanese style katana, but also mostly straight sword, because that's the thing that I studied the most is kung fu Chinese style straight sword, but also just me being what I call movie dough, which is Hollywood style, just whatever's hype and exciting. The reason why I am twirling a lot and moving the lightsaber is because I'm imagining that a lot of the blasters, I'm blocking them. And so the blasters are not put in yet. They're going to be put in later. I'm just trusting the VFX people that they'll do that. So that's why you're given one chance to be a Jedi. I thought this was my only set. So I just went, like, I just did whatever felt good. I was given 3 more sets after that because it was awesome. The director came up and she's like, hey, you're amazing. And she's a female director. So is everyone else. She's like, can we just shoot you alone? And that's why the second, third, and the fourth sets, it's just me out there alone. But everyone got to do, there was 8 of us that day, and everyone got to do like 3 sets. It was awesome. So let's watch them first, and then I'll talk more.
Well, keep in mind, as far as all the flourishes, I mean, for anybody who's watched the prequels, it's all like spinny lightsaber things. I mean, like there's Obi-Wan and Anakin in the final duel, like just like standing in front of each other, there's just spinning. So this is what you'll see here. This is not extra flourishes. Yeah. This is, if you're in the midst of Order 66, this all makes sense. Here we go. Let's watch it. Yeah. We'll be able to watch it again.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you for answering that.
Oh yeah. It's all about flourishes in Star Wars. Here we go.
There you go.
So the last 2 shots of you, as far as like just you being solo, is what I wish I looked like when I'm doing my own like lightsaber spinning stuff. That's what I wish I looked like. However, what I actually look like is the viral video from years ago. If you know what I'm talking about, you know.
Oh my God! Can we see that? Come on, show it.
I don't have room in here to spin, but
okay.
But I'm trainable. I'm Star Wars. I am trainable. I can spin. I just
yes, you are.
And I've got dance skills, so I can.
Yeah, you're a movement artist, dude. Exactly. I don't put it past you. You can learn anything. You're fit. You're like, I know you. I know you.
I can do it. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I'm ready, yes. Star Wars. But so yeah, it's that is, if you know, the clone troopers coming in, Order 66, all of that. If you can picture that, the mayhem, the blaster bolts, them coming in. That's essentially what you're filming, and you're filming solo parts as well. So in case they want to like CGI something or add things in and be able to splice it, but I agree. I could do this version. I could do a Muppet version.
Wait, what does that mean? I'm like the cat interpretation of that viral video. What does that mean? Anyways.
No. So Julie loves cats.
Oh.
Julie's a cat person.
Okay.
So the video that I'm talking about from years ago, the person messing around in their garage that they turned into a viral video. that went. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
Oh,
That's
yes,
the
I think
one.
so.
That's the
I've
one
seen a
where
lot of, yeah,
So Julie is saying that
yeah,
that version, if it was a
got it.
cat, would be her. Yeah.
Hilarious, hilarious.
That's what that means.
Got you, Julie.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was really awesome this day. This was one of the few, I mean, yeah, one of the few days of my job that I was like, please don't wrap me, please don't wrap me. I don't want to be out of my costumes, you know, and I stayed in my costume and I danced with Anisha. There's a video that I have not released yet because I'm just waiting so I don't get canceled fully, but I'm fully going off in my Jedi outfit, freestyle dancing, twerking, you know it, whacking, locking, dancing, just going off while the stunt double is videotaping me. And I'll release that later, but I was just so excited to be in the costume. I did not want to get out. She was like, the wardrobe lady's like standing there watching us. A lot of us didn't want to get out.
Yeah.
And it was probably a good hour. After they wrapped us, you're supposed to get out right away and get out so they can sign you out and not pay you, right? Because they don't want to pay overtime. But I was like, no, don't wrap me. And I stayed in my costume. I danced. I took photos. So that's what, hence I sent you a bunch of those photos of us. And everybody wanted to take photos too. The cool thing about the second clip that you played, it's a yellow lightsaber. And Matt Emig told me before I got on, he was like, hey, so not everybody gets a yellow lightsaber. Only me and because he was in the first scene.
Yeah.
I think he was earlier in the scene. Only him, Obi-Wan, and I think maybe Yoda had a yellow saber. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what he told me before I went on. So I felt special. That was my last set is with the yellow lightsaber, but I put it second in this series. And then on top of it, it was actually pretty challenging doing all of my moves because the floor was this blue material that was stretchy.
Oh.
So I could not base out. Like every time you're stepping and trying to take off, your foot's slipping a little bit. So I'm watching myself now. I'm like, it's okay. You know, it wasn't so bad. But then I feel like that day I was stressing out. Like everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're slipping because the ground was so slippery. In top, let's see, some other funny details. Let me see. So there was a funny detail about, because I know visual effects, because I used to be a visual, God, I'm going to get canceled right now. So I know visual effects, right? And I knew we were going to be very small on the screen because they told us we're going to be in this big wide shot of all of us just getting annihilated. And one after the other, we just kept getting blasted. So that squib effect of the sparks, they actually put a squib on us and then it would explode. You would hear somebody go 3, 2, 1, boom, and then you would react to it. And sometimes I'd be halfway into my move and be like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to die, right? And so that's why I cut off my death, because I did it at the wrong time. But what was cool was there was a lady who came up to me and she's like, hey, stop it. She's like, hey, this girl has full makeup on. And like, I didn't have any makeup on, but she didn't like my eyelashes. And Asian girls, we don't have eyelashes, so we get extensions all the time. And I was like, dude, if you see my face, the camera guys are doing something wrong because we're in the background, right? So somehow she was really mad at me. There's always like an argument about faces for stunt people because you're not supposed to see faces of stunt people. So this one, she's like, okay, well, this Star Wars world, you're supposed to be just nothing. My dog is going crazy. And
hi, dog.
So then I get to set. Come here, Munchie. I get to set, and she's still complaining that I have makeup on. I'm like, I have no makeup on. So I'm like, hey, can we talk to the visual effects people and ask them if we're going to see this? My eyes, you know? And then sure enough, we walk over to the visual effects people and I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, are we going to be in the background? You know, and the makeup lady's there. Man, she's going to cancel me right now if she ever hears this. But he's like, no, they're going to be pretty small on the screen. It's cool. Because she was going to take my eyelashes off and like cut them. And I was like, wow, she was really trying to do her job. And I, you know, respects to her. I get it. That's her job that day. None of us were supposed to have any makeup on, which I didn't. All I had was my eyelashes. And she was really mad at it. So I took her over to the visual effects guy and he's like, no, it's cool. And I was like, and then I walked away like, thank you. And then continued my job, you know. I get it. We're all supposed to do our own job.
I know whenever I'm on set for something, and it's usually always for dancing, is that I you know, with the lights and everything else, I sweat. And so like they're always having to like they basically the makeup people tend to follow me around at that point after a certain part of the day. You know, they're just
dab you
constantly, and then reapply.
They have to do their job though. That's what they're there for.
Well, it's funny because like the main actor or actress or something is getting less attention than I am from makeup.
Oh my god, because you're sweating.
Yeah, they're trying to
It's so awesome.
I mean, I'll take the attention, but you know, it's just funny to stand there and be like, okay, in between shots.
Yes, if you love it. So yeah, that was another surreal moment. Is the lightsabers. So everybody asks like, what kind of lightsabers are those? Those are not lightsabers you can buy. I will tell you guys the lightsaber to buy if you want. But first, let me tell you about it. So it was a hilt with a clear tube that was very some sort of plexi situation so that you can bang it hard, and it was balanced pretty nicely in your hand so that it wasn't top heavy. Because when a lightsaber or a sword's top heavy, it's harder to flourish like that, to do what I call not what I call, but kung fu's called flowers. And so it was actually balanced really well because I think the stunt court, like Matt and all the guys working on it, asked for it to be built this way by props. Munchie, no. And so the moment they gave it to me, I was like, oh, how do you turn this thing on, right? And you can't because it's remote. Like there's another guy, props guy, who presses the button for it to turn on. So I'm holding it. And then when I walked out to the stage, it's a huge stage. And man, that first time my heart was beating because I was like, oh my God, this is the moment. I am a Jedi, right? And I pose and I'm like, and suddenly they turn it on. It's like, and I was like, oh shit. And like, I got tingles everywhere.
Wait, did they turn it on by remote?
Yeah, there's some remote.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
There was no button because if there's a button, we're going to turn it off.
Yeah, that's what happens to me all the time with mine.
Yeah, all the time. So, which is why you guys should get Flow Sabers, because they're actually gonna give me a couple sponsored, and I'm gonna make some videos for them. Flow Sabers it's a stunt saber, and it's a new carbon saber that you can it's balanced perfectly in your hands. You can flow with it, but you can bang it really hard. And they just did a crowdfunder, but I think now they're launching. They're probably shipping maybe this month. Flow Sabers. We can put a link in the description later. That's the brand, Flow Sabers. Okay. This guy Connor, it's his company. So that's the saber that I would recommend if you want to actually bang and actually feel one that is balanced properly. There are a couple other brands, but that's the one that I would promote.
Yeah, so there's some different sabers that they make out there of different types. There's so you've got I mean the two main that you find out there are either NeoPixel or XenoPixel or baselit. Now baselit, it's the light is actually coming from the hilt itself, and then the XenoPixel and NeoPixel have all the sensors, all the lights in the actual blade itself, so you can get all the fancy effects. But the problem is when it comes to spinning and things like that, is that like XenoPixel, NeoPixel, the blades are heavier. So like a lot of the spinning, it's a lot slower and harder to manage a little bit. Baselit is a little bit better. But if I was going to do like anything for film, I would want something that was really nicely balanced like that.
Yeah, exactly. So the ones they had on set were proprietary, made by the props people. They were amazing. And what's cool about them is they have to do minimal effects afterwards, because what you were seeing right there, that was actually there. And then they might have added, VFX afterwards. I'm sure they added VFX afterwards, but it looks great the way that they built those things. I don't know the details about them, but yeah, it was really exciting to just when they fired it up and they're like 3, 2, 1, action. I'm like, oh God, and I loved every moment. I wanted to do so many more passes, but yeah. That was my one day of being a Jedi.
Wait, let's see if I can. Well, no, before we go further, let's actually watch that again because, and afterwards, I'm going to put all the links to everything in the description for YouTube. It's in the description for the earlier stream. I just have to now put them in for this one. But let's watch this again so we can enjoy all that. Now we have the stories. We can watch it with joy. Here we go. And action. That's
Man,
that's
it's so
totally what I would
sad,
like.
right? Like,
Totally.
man, it's funny because like after one ride, we were all excited and happy to be there, and then as we were watching each other die, we're like, wow, it's kind of sad.
Oh,
It's really sad.
so in Star Wars world, Order 66. So there's the creator Dave Filoni is constantly putting in Order 66s for things, and even though it was Deborah Chow who was directing Obi-Wan Kenobi, it was kind of like, oh
Yeah.
no, more Order 66s, and then we had to see it like multiple times, not only in that show but also now in The Mandalorian. With that, it's emotional damage every single time.
It's emotional damage. It's pretty
Because
sad.
you know it's a sad moment. In Obi-Wan Kenobi, getting Hayden Christensen back for some of those shots is crazy because
Yeah, he trained hard. I
Yeah.
saw him at practice, and he would come in. There was a whole training facility that was set up with like this area where they did all the previs for the fights, and there was a whole workout area too, lifting weights and all that. And so he would come in before his actual training, whatever fight
Mhm.
choreography, and he'd actually train lifting weights. And he was the one time I saw him, or maybe twice, he was really going at it. So props to him for fighting, training to film
Oh, yeah.
proper.
well, you got to train nearby to Anakin / Darth Vader. So that's that's something else. You
Yeah.
have a lot of jealous people out there right now that you got to watch. You
That's-
got to watch
yes,
Hayden working
it
out.
was- I was jealous of everyone. I was jealous of myself. I mean, but another thing is seeing Ewan McGregor on set. That was awesome because he was right for the scene as when I was a rebel
Mhm.
for that scene. He's like yelling at, he's like turns around and yells right at me and everyone like retreat, whatever his line was. I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
But it was hard not to be like,
So you were there with Ewan as well, and that's
I was there with you, and what was cool about that is like because we've seen him so much, it felt normal. Like to see him as he was dressed up as Obi-Wan,
Mhm.
and it felt really normal. Like I'm like, wow, that's Obi-Wan right there. That's him, and just all day. And he was really cool, really nice and friendly, and just doing his job professional.
Yeah.
He wasn't complaining. We had to do multiple takes over and over again of us running and retreating. And it was not that safe of conditions. There was one time I took a unexpected spill pretty bad because what my action is I'm shooting. I have a huge ass shield and I'm running backwards, right, and shooting and then turning around and running. And so one of the takes when they flip around meaning they shoot us this way facing us and then they shoot behind our heads. They're shooting behind our heads, so there's cameras behind us, and nobody told me there's an apple box right there, right? And so I am like shooting. I turn around one step, there's an apple box right there. I go down, and then if you see that scene, it's very, very packed. There's a lot of people in that scene, so it wasn't just me.
Oh, yeah.
I went down, and a couple people went down. Thankfully, I just sprained my wrist, but that's part of our job,
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't break it. My wrist was probably jammed for like 3 weeks, but I'm just really grateful it didn't break. But that's what happens on stunt jobs. And, there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is just try to just keep your eye out. You're always the best stunt coordinator of yourself. Like people are not going to tell you, hey, there's an apple box. Sometimes if you're lucky, but those camera guys are trying to do their job too. So they're going to put an apple box in where they need it to be and not tell us. But that was the one time I went down and it was gnarly, like running out of there. If you see that scene, it was crowded, it was tight spaces and over again. And so seeing Ewan McGregor do it over and over again with us and not complain was pretty awesome. It's cool to see him
I would
up
like to
close.
work with Ewan and Hayden. That would be, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I know you're not
me too.
listening, but
wanna-
if you get wind of me, yeah, I was on a set for.
What would you want to be?
Well, if I had the choice, I would go Jedi, but I mean, I would choose Sith Lord. That'd be great. But anything really. But if I could choose Jedi, I know Ahsoka's already been done, but if there's more Ahsoka stuff, I just want to be with Ahsoka and the Rebels crew. I mean, if there's like a second season or something, count me in. Like if you need to recast
Michelle
Hondo,
Lee.
I'll be Hondo Onaka.
Yeah. Why
Hello,
not?
my friends.
My friend Michelle Lee doubled Ahsoka, and my other friend Ming Q was the fight coordinator for that. And it was the first time, I think, a female fight coordinator. She's from the originally she comes from the Beijing national wushu team.
Yeah.
She's one of the Asian female stunt women who's been in this as long, like longer than all of us, and she got to coordinate it. And she is amazing. She's an amazing performer. She's awesome. And then Michelle Lee said it was really, really hard work. Also, my friend Lauren Kim was on it too, doubling the other girl. And Natalie Padilla was also assistant stunt coordinating. And so there was a lot of females on that. I haven't seen it yet. It's coming out
Oh, in
May
August. Yeah.
something, or August. Okay.
I know. Well, I know like none of those people can talk about it until the show comes out. But if I would love to have all of you on talking more, if at any point in time coming on a Star Wars podcast, just talking about like all the different jobs and roles that you've had, and just talking about just being badasses on film and behind the scenes. I love hearing about it because you know me, I'm a big film person, so. Just hearing about different people and just their jobs and roles and what they've done in this is amazing. And stunt work, I mean, it's grueling. Like I pulled a hamstring on a set for a dance commercial, and then they worked on me for like half an hour, and then I still went back out there and I was still throwing aerials. I was just favoring the other leg. It was stupid. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But take care of yourself.
I'm done. I'm actually in a state where I will really want to just do acting and action acting because I've had enough surgeries. Like I've had enough injuries. I have enough concussions. I retired flipping 6 years ago. I used to flip a lot, like wall flips. I was tore my Achilles, but then that opened up other doors for me to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and just keep expanding my fight ability and fight coordinator possibilities and my fight choreography knowledge. And so that's what Rumble Date is basically what I'm most proud about. Aside from being a Jedi, aside from being in Stranger Things, my favorite TV show, I'm most proud of my own film action comedy shorts. And Rumble Date is basically about a couple who met online on Bumble, right? The app that's for women. And they are on the second date. She invites him over for a fun fitness challenge, and it turns into a MMA challenge, which turns into a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match. And so there's a lot of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques, and everyone's always thinking about it in class. When I used to train, I got a blue belt in Gracie University in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and everyone's always thinking about it because you're literally on the floor cuddling with each other. And so I made a short about that. And it's just really funny because the guy has a bet to not see if he can stay in the date with his friend because he always like pieces out of a date soon. And so the guy who's actually my partner, William Spencer, his character is put into this situation where he has to stay in the date, and she's doing all these MMA techniques on her, like pretty much beating him up, but he's like also defending, but he also wants to date her too. So there's like that fine line of like, oh, I don't want to beat her. Oh, I want to defend, but I want to let her get some. But wow, she's really a beast,
I've been in that relationship
Bumble
before.
Date, Rumble. Okay.
It didn't end well.
A lot of people relate to it. It's pretty funny.
And
so
that people, by the way, people do want y'all back. You've already getting that.
Yeah.
We did have a question for you.
Okay.
If you could play any Star Wars character, who would you pick? Like, if you could, if you could choose your own adventure.
You should show the photo. Which one
am I looking
I
for?
want to be a Sith. I want to be a sexy Sith.
What photo am I looking for?
Like I made a cosplay sexy Sith outfit.
Oh, I don't. I have to. Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's if you can't find it, it's on the Google Drive. But I want to be a Sith. Now I'm done wanting to be a Jedi because now I can't because my face is burned. Unless there's a miracle and they can disguise me and people forget that I was a rebel human in the Star Wars universe.
So there's
there's
a character
Ventress.
Yeah, dual wielding. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love swords. Like if I can just anything with dual sabers I would love
And
it.
there's
I like single saber, but I like dual sabers too. I can do both.
there's more stuff coming
So-
out. I mean, because the Acolyte is another show coming out, and of course that has like some Sith and Jedi. But if we have
Awesome.
stuff, because there's different movies that they've announced. Of course, there's like the Origins of the Jedi, which is essentially one movie. There's one with Rey coming about, like the new Jedi Order. So there's like several possibilities of having like some more Sith badasses. So I'm just saying.
If I could have dual sabers that connect to be a saber staff, I'd be so stoked.
Yeah.
So that sometimes I can fight with dual sabers and sometimes with the staff. I actually sent you that clip too of me in front of Disney World for New Year's Eve when I'm spinning a saber staff, and it was like it's longer.
I saw that
than
on your
I am.
socials. Yeah.
So it's on my Instagram. It kept hitting the ground, but some girl was like, she's literally dressed up crazy, like maybe Star Wars, Disney, raver theme. And I was like, oh my God, she has those saber staff and she's just holding it. She's just holding it. And I was like, can I touch it? You know? And so we started talking, and then I told her I was a Jedi in Obi-Wan. She's like, what? And so we were just walking. We went to the castle, and then she's like, hey, can I spin this? Or I had her spin it, and then I was like, can I spin it? So that was what that clip is me spinning in front of the Disney Magic Castle with a saber staff, and it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, oh, everyone loves lightsabers. It's so fun.
Well, it's hard not to. Like they make the lights and the fun noises, and there's the clashing, and they're not practical.
To say,
but...
I do not. Yeah, the Disney lightsaber, I'm sorry to say, is not balanced nice. And
the legacy sabers, no.
Hand.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's expensive. It was $400. She said it was $400, and it has a button right where I want it, where you know. And so the clip that you see, I had to edit out the moments that it turned off. But supposedly the flow saber has the dual that can connect together, and then it's like nicely balanced. So I'm really looking forward to trying that.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm already bookmarking it in my head now.
Once I get them, I'm gonna be posting tons of videos, making content with those, because I'm really
lightsaber content and lightsaber instructional things like that. There's a market for that. Just FYI, and there's only some stunt people that do it, but not a ton. So people do appreciate saber action, and like maybe some choreo.
Michelle C. Smith.
I mean, that's the only one that anybody knows. That's it. Everybody else just does some lightsaber spinning, but not actual real stunt work. Yeah, it's just a lot of.
Wait, can
twirling.
we show the Inquisitor Pursuit, the very short teaser? So this project is, is it
not the Last Jedi? Is it that the?
We can see that one too. It's just longer because that's the Crouching Tiger core. That one's pretty fun too. The other one's called Inquisitor Pursuit. Yeah, exactly. Michelle C. Smith is it. Darn it. Well, can I share my screen and I can just
possibly?
Let me see.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Google Drive and see if I can.
Inquisitor Pursuit. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for sticking around. Work out all the technical stuff on the road.
Fun hanging out with you guys. Let's see. It's called Inquisitor Pursuit. It's very short. Okay, I found it, but how do I have to share screen, don't I?
Does it? I don't know if you can on your end. I don't know how that works over there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I can.
Nice.
Let's try this.
All right.
If you'll let me. Okay.
There it is. I can play it. Here we go.
Oh. Hit play. Okay, there you go. So, whoops.
There we are. wanna do
So
all of
that
that.
was a short that I was asked to fight coordinate.
Mhm.
I brought on my friend to be the DP and also help direct Eric Van Arsdale. And that Jedi Master there is Zach Hudson, who actually he was a really well-known stunt man who doubled for Orlando Bloom and did a lot of amazing jobs. He just passed away in December 22nd. And so I made recently on my YouTube channel, B-Girl. I have 2 YouTube channels. B-Girl Peppa is the one that I'm sharing to now. I posted something. That's because I used to remember
Yeah.
break dancer name. But I posted a tribute to Zach Hudson, and there's a bunch of pictures from that Star Wars job. He was my Jedi Master in that he was really good at swords. He did all the sword fights for Orlando Bloom, plus a bunch of the stunts. And so that short, Inquisitor Pursuit, got canceled because 2 things. Star Wars was mad at the time at all of the indie films, and then also the producer's dad died, so we stopped it. Now that Zach Hudson passed away, I looked at all the choreography that we made recently, and this fall we're planning to finish it and actually just shoot additional shots to just cut in with Zach somehow, and dedicate it to him because he was just such a great stuntman that everybody loved. Great personality, really talented. So we want to dedicate that to him.
Oh,
so that one's going to be finished later.
Yeah, and when you're done with it,
we went to the Redwood.
send it my way so I can share it to all the people.
For sure. We went all the way to the Redwood Forest to shoot that one.
Wait, which just up?
The Redwood Forest. We went to the Redwood Forest up 5 hours north.
That's what I thought you were referring to. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was making sure. I'm like, you're talking about, yeah. That's commitment.
And then, the other thing, what were you going to say?
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, no, I was just, saying that when you have that, I would love to share it and show this to
definitely.
people.
I'll be making an announcement. By the way, I'm sad I didn't get tickets to May the 4th tomorrow.
I didn't.
So if anyone has tickets and they want to give it to me,
I didn't do. I'm not doing Star Wars night. I'm just going to be during the park during the day. I don't want to spend the extra money for Star Wars night. I did it last year, had a good time, but I could use that money for other Star Wars things.
Is it sold out tomorrow? You're going tomorrow?
I mean, there's always the possibility of reservations opening up for the park, like as the evening progresses, but that's a crapshoot there.
If I could be a Power Ranger, what do I want to be and why? That's just a quick short answer. I don't want to be a Power Ranger, and I'll tell you why. Because right now it's all about showing your face, and if you're a Power Ranger, your face is hidden. And I'm over having my face be hidden because a lot of the times we're hiding our face on purpose. And so like it's a treat when I get to show recently I was on The Flight Attendant and I got to play myself. I got to tell them how I wanted my hair. They just wanted me to be a Korean assassin. And I got to be the person and not stunt double anyone. I stunt double myself. So I also stunt drived and then fought the main actress. And it was epic and one of the best jobs of my life, getting to go to Iceland. Oh, really? I haven't seen it. I just seen.
Well, when you're in it, no, it is a great show. It's really well done. That's
awesome. I mean, there's a lot of females in it, so they're awesome. Kaylee, she's awesome. All of them are. Michelle Gonzalez, who I got to fight, was amazing. And I'm excited to also be coming in an upcoming show called The Brother's Son, and I got to fight. The Brother's Son, it's out. It's about a Taiwanese gang in LA. Actually, the dramas of a Taiwanese gang in LA, starring Michelle Yeoh again as the mother. You guys all know Michelle Yeoh, and I don't know if I can say, but I got to fight her. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I got to fight her. I can't. I'm probably gonna get canceled. And if they see
nothing else, you've heard nothing.
But look out for The Brother's Son, and that's all I can say for now. I'm really excited.
I'm sure, like everyone else, would say we'd love to have you back later and talk more about all of this, and talk about stunt and talk about the industry. of course, like if your friends want to come on as well, once they can actually talk about the things. Um, I
Yeah.
love talking about. I want to have more and more people like that work in the industry and kind of work around Star Wars or work and just kind of get to know of like what it's like to work on these projects, because it's really easy as a fan to be on this side and like see a project coming out and like be like, well, it was good, or like it could have been better, or it was amazing. Like, you know, there's the fandom menace is kind of what often referred to. And myself and the people that I am mutuals with and stuff, like we try to stay on the positive side of things, and so we try to even if we have critiques, not to go toxic, and you know, try to say, here are my opinions, but if you have other opinions, that's great. We can all kind of get along. So you're here on the not fandom menace side of things. So welcome to this side of Star Wars.
Thank you, because I got a lot of haters now from my 2 million views.
Oh my goodness!
Video.
Without being a Star Wars creator, yeah, the comments are yeah.
I don't know if you read any of them,
I never
but
read
like
comments.
I'm not mad at all. I just
Yeah.
think, I mean, I read some of them just because I was curious, and I know that there's like certain actresses out there that I know of that have gone through like some depression over comments. Me, I'm like, whatever. It's like one clip of my entire career that I
Yeah.
posted, you know, that happened to go viral, and I don't care what people said that like I did too many flourishes, because I had the time of my life, you know. At the
Well,
time, I'm like, I got
everybody
to be a
likes to be
Jedi.
like,
I got
yeah, I'm like,
paid.
they like to think like they're some expert in something, or like some film aficionado. Like everybody pretends like there's something else on the
Yeah.
internet when
Yeah.
they don't really know. Like, okay, there are 7 forms of lightsaber dueling.
Yes, they said it was Form 4 that I was
Ataru, I
doing.
believe that is. I could be wrong.
Oh, wow, that's crazy that you know
I
that.
don't
Whatever
have them
that
memorized.
means.
I just sometimes can.
What does that mean?
It's
You know? Like is it the style?
think Yoda when Yoda duels. Like
Okay, yeah,
more
I mean, that would make
athletic
sense then.
and drawing on that.
Moving
Yeah.
around a lot.
So,
Yeah.
and you know, there are only so many people that can actually really do that form. So, you know,
Cool.
if
Well, I mean, that's what the cool
if you're
people.
complaining and you're talking about too many flourishes, then yeah, don't look at the prequels, because you'll be disappointed.
Well, that's what's funny, because if you see some of the comments, they're like, "Where the heck are the choreographers from the prequel or from the original?" Whatever they said.
Yeah.
They're like, "These choreographers suck. This choreography sucks." They're like, "No wonder she
And
got
YouTube people are the
killed.
worst.
Wow, they actually killed her." I know. I'm like, "Who are you?" I didn't even bother clicking
Yeah.
on them, but they're like, "No wonder she got killed. She just did miscellaneous, purposeless flourishes and swinging and twirling, and of course she got killed." You know, and I'm like, that is so funny.
Well,
Whatever, you
they're
know.
also not
Love you
imagining of all
guys.
the other stuff's going, because you're on a blue screen, and like there's all these things that are going to be
Yeah.
coming in. Like none of the blaster shots are being shown right now, and like if you think like you're being
No.
bombarded from all sides and blaster shots are coming in from everywhere, like of course, don't be dumb. People on the internet, like oh my gosh, they're yeah. Like I have to see a lot of my comments because I have to like monitor things a bit so somebody doesn't get
Hilarious.
too terrible. It's worse on YouTube for the most part. But man, it's
Yeah.
like sometimes you want to go full Sith on some of these people, because
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, like you're just a horrible person.
Yeah, they're like, "Why is she fun?" I'm like, "You," and then some people would write back and be like, "You idiot, don't you know VFX? The VFX people are gonna do this." It's just so
Yeah.
funny, the discussion.
Yeah,
on there.
and so it's just
Like-
remembering that there's just so many toxic trolls out there. But that is
Totally.
there's the whole saying that we use in the positive Star Wars fandom is there are more of us. From Lando saying that from Rise of Skywalker, there are more of us. And so even though a lot of those toxic voices scream really loud, there are less of them than the actual like people who love Star Wars and the people who just want to enjoy the medium and be immersed and like some of the stuff and maybe not like some of the stuff. It doesn't matter, but it's Star Wars and it's awesome. And the fact that you got to be in Star Wars and you got to be involved in Star Wars is something that not many people can say and that everybody wishes. So everybody in the comments who are trolling, you just wish you could be that, but you're not.
No, I'm not mad. I
Yeah.
mean, there was one person that said, I can't, it's just funny. They're like, oh yeah, I could have done better when I was 7 years old. And then I wrote back like, hey, can we see that
No.
video?
They're always the people with like no videos. They have no videos. They have no social media presence because they've got nothing to offer except just hate. And we know, you know, fear, anger, hate leads to internet trolling. That's George Lucas wrote that. That was in the earlier draft.
Do you guys want to see the Jedi Duel?
Yeah,
That's my last
Jedi Duel.
film.
Let's do that. Let me
Jedi
bring
Duel.
this up.
This was made. This is the one with me and my kung fu brother Wushu Wes, who is an amazing martial artist. Now he's just a YouTube star, and he just had a baby.
I want to be a YouTube star. That'd be great.
Yeah, he's like viral on YouTube and Facebook and all that, whatever. But he and I back then, we used to sword fight all the time, and he and I actually Philip Sahagan, who's like a famous martial artist too, who owns a studio out in Vegas now. He was supposed to do this, and then he hurt his back, and so Wes was like, "You have to take his place." So I learned this choreography in 2 hours, and then went and shot it with Wes.
Here we go.
And so here it is. Yeah. The VFX are like, they could be better, but it's cute. So he's like the Zhang Ziyi character, and I'm like the Michelle Yeoh character.
Again?
What up, Kung Fu fam? It's
There you go.
I could I can do a fraction of that, but I
You can do it.
I can
all,
well
man.
no with enough time, yeah. I can totally
Yeah.
maybe not maybe not as beautifully executed.
In your own style.
Exactly. My own style will be
this,
look a lot more like Gene Kelly with a lightsaber, but
dude, that would be
I'm
sick.
saying,
That would
you
be
know.
sick.
So Sarah and I, who's in the comments here, at Star Wars Celebration a few weeks ago, we did a mashup cosplay of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Satine from Clone Wars, and mashed it up with Singing in the Rain. So we did Satine in the Rain.
No way. Where's that video?
It's on Insta, TikTok. I don't know if I haven't put it on YouTube, but they're on there. I mean, we performed it just outside. So the hard thing is that we were performing and it was super windy outside, and we're like dealing with this umbrella. So like you had to angle it a particular way, or the umbrella turned inside out, which it did to us twice during an earlier run. Yeah.
No, I hate that. Oh my god. Where was that?
It was in London for the big Star Wars Comic-Con, Star Wars Celebration. But we got to perform.
Amazing. I gotta see that.
Yeah,
video.
it's I gotta see we'll try to at some point I want to actually film it in a controlled environment with lighting and actual angles. So we're not dealing with conditions. And we can have more than one take.
That is so dope. I would love to see
It's
that.
it's
See, I
fun
love that
adding all the
you
nerds.
see you understand. Yeah, you understand like meshing and fusing things, which I've always loved. I've always loved meshing
Yeah.
dance with martial
I mean,
arts,
that's
and
what
so
Star Wars is.
it's
Star Wars is a
cool.
mesh of things. Yeah,
Mesh
that's,
of
I
things,
mean,
like
everything
all the
George
like
built Star Wars on was just a mesh of different ideas.
ethnicity, yeah,
Yeah.
religion, ethnicity,
Yeah.
all of it,
I mean,
costumes, styles.
that's all it is. Like, I mean, you look at the original Star Wars, even Princess Leia's like hair buns, like everything had an origin
Yeah,
somewhere else.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
But wait,
That's so funny,
yeah.
Sarah. Yeah, I actually did a fight with my partner William on. He's on skateboard and I'm on roller skates. We did a little bit of Star
Yeah.
Wars fight, but we didn't finish it, so I haven't posted it yet. So I might just post a teaser, but I definitely freestyled roller skated with my glow wheels with the lightsaber, which I also haven't really posted. That's coming out someday. I shot it like a long time ago.
I know.
There's too much
The hard thing
editing.
is, as an
I need to
artist, you've
hire an
got so
editor.
many things you're always juggling and so many
So
like
many
unfinished
things.
projects. Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I know.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know you were doing this Star Wars thing. I was like,
Well,
wow, Nick Williams is gone. Professional dancing in the world.
yeah, I mean, I'm still the professional dancer, but also Star Wars aficionado. It's the pandemic that really did that when you're like at home and can't do things. Started a lot of this, so
Totally.
now I'm also a Star Wars creator, and who knows what that'll turn into.
Yeah. So
What?
guess what? Who I'm going to interview? I'm going to interview two. I'm going to start a
Okay.
podcast too. It's
Yeah.
it's going to happen. I'm going to interview first, obviously, my partner William Spencer, who is the amazing Spider-Man, who doubled
That's
Andrew
awesome.
Garfield. But secondly, I'm going to interview Demetrius. Do you guys know who Demetrius
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. He was at Star Wars Celebration. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's my friend. I've known him from dancing. Actually, I knew him
that's
from
awesome.
breakdancing. He's a circus
Yeah.
performer, and so he actually opened. I don't know how close you are to him. if
He
told you
knows.
about
He
his
knows. He
journey.
does. I don't think he knows I exist.
Okay, so he opened up to me and explained his journey for studying for that role and how deep he went and psychologically how much it affected him, which I found so fascinating. And I was like, hey, do you want to do a podcast when you're ready? Because I know it's like he's just recovered. Like as of last year, he was still recovering from what he had done in that, like the studying he did. So he had to do like a lot of therapy. I won't
Wait,
give out too much,
Demetrius.
but that's
You're
what
talking about Darth Vader, Demetrius. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him on as well. Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Okay.
Okay.
There's we have a mutual friend.
Bistrevsky.
Get me in touch, and so I'm gonna reach out to him soon, and
Yeah, you should
have him on. So Demetrius
we're gonna do a podcast too.
was one of the Darth Vaders in Obi-WAN Kenobi. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool is like the way I didn't actually know because there's so much is going on at the time, but he reached out to me like, hey, congrats on Jedi, and then that's when I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome! Like I saw all his pictures, and I want to highlight him because he did a lot of work for that. I'm going to actually start a podcast specifically like talking to all my stunt friends who have played all these amazing roles.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure. It's going to be called like Unsung Heroes, something like that. But the faces behind the faces that you do, like the real, because my partner is known as the real Spider-Man. He's the one who did all the Spider-Man stuff. Andrew just did the talking, so he's actually the Spider-Man. So.
Well, when you get all that stuff started, I'll definitely help promote you in the Star Wars world.
Thank you.
With all of that, and of course, love to have you. And I would love to get like a few of your stunt people, friends who've worked on some of these things, or maybe worked on Star Wars a little bit down the road, and do like kind of a group. Like we could talk, to have like a round table of stunt people where I just sit back and just enjoy you talking to each other about all of it. It's really I just started this for me, I get to talk to people and do this. Yeah
it's really awesome with this day and age and technology. Like podcasts are great. People are listening on Apple Podcasts and all that.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Thank you
yeah, thank you
for your love and support.
Thank you for being on and taking the time, and thank you everybody out there who still hung in there after figuring out all the tech stuff. I'll work on it; it'll be fine. We are not on next week because I'll be flying off to another country. Don't worry, it's for work, and I don't get to see anything. I just do all the. Oh my goodness! Okay, yeah.
He finally showed up. He
Oh,
was being a
hello.
tease the whole time.
Yeah.
This is Falcor from The Neverending Story, one of my favorite movies.
Of course,
But
Falcor.
actually, Falcor, yeah, Falcor, the luck dragon. However, he likes to eat things, so I call him Munchie as a nickname. But his name is Falcor. He has an Instagram too.
Yeah, you got a bunch
Munchie.
of animal lovers in the chat right now. Yeah.
Aww, Munchie. Yeah, he's a luck dragon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you for having me on, Nick. It's so good to catch up with you.
Good to catch up with you,
I would
and I
love
know
to
we gotta see each other in person at some point.
Yes, we gotta
Been too
dance
long.
again.
I know.
I want to see the video you and Sarah did. I want to see the just everything.
I'll be able
All
to
the
send that
stuff
to
that
you.
you've been up to.
But yeah,
I was a fan of you. I was a fan of you originally. Remember?
we are co-fans of each other.
I was a fan of you first.
Okay, fine. But like, I also like am behind going, hooray! You can do it. You can do it. I've got the pom poms in the background. That's what I'm doing. Soon to be lightsabers, but I'll have pom poms now. Twirling pom poms. Someday I'll have the lightsabers. I'll upgrade like you. But again, would love to have you back at some point. We'll talk about it. And looking forward to seeing your podcast down the road and what you got
thank
there.
You so much.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're actually going to be talking about Star Wars games, not just current games, but like the history of all of Star Wars games throughout. Talking about that, we're going to have John and some other people on in 2 weeks from today. So that should be pretty awesome. Even if you're not a gamer, because I'm not a gamer, I've really just played like Jedi, Fallen Order, and Survivor, and a little bit of KOTOR. But I'm going to learn a lot from it. But we're going to have people who actually know what they're talking about on to do that. So I can't wait for that. Again, PeiPei, thank you so much. I will be posting all the links and from these videos, so you can actually go back and watch them and watch the actual YouTube one, so that you can get the views and the likes. So that'll be in the next like 20 minutes. Those things will be posted on the YouTube video of this. So go look for those.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.